Two fighter pilots were flying over the Afghan desert when they were suddenly ambushed by terrorists. Both pilots managed to eject from their planes before they crashed, but as they descended by parachute, terrorists on the ground spotted them and opened fire. One pilot was killed instantly during the ambush, while the other pilot, Clare, fought back bravely and eliminated all the terrorists. After the fight, Clare continued walking through the vast desert, but she found no one for miles. Eventually, she noticed a Russian bunker hidden in the sands. The bunker was tightly sealed, and no matter how hard she tried, she could not open the heavy door. At that moment, another group of terrorists appeared and opened fire on her. Clare defended herself as best as she could, but she knew she was outnumbered and would not survive for long. Then, a missile launched by one of the terrorists hit the bunker door, blowing it open. Without wasting a second, Clare jumped inside before the attackers could reach her. The bunker led underground with a staircase descending into darkness. Knowing the terrorists were right behind her, Clare hurried down the stairs to save her life. The interior was completely dark, so she took out a light stick to see. As she moved deeper, the equipment and objects lying around suggested that secret experiments had taken place there. In one of the rooms, Clare discovered a dead doctor, and beside the corpse, she found documents describing the experiments and a recording device, which she picked up and kept. Meanwhile, the terrorists had entered the bunker as well. One of them found a switch and turned on the lights, revealing a line of large glass chambers. Inside each chamber were strange, human-like creatures. Clare took advantage of their confusion and attacked from behind. During the shooting, one of the bullets shattered one of the chambers, causing the creature inside to fall out. Clare noticed an empty room and quickly jumped inside to hide. The remaining terrorists spread out, trying to find her. One of them stood near the broken chamber, but the creature suddenly came alive, grabbed the terrorist from behind, and tore him apart. Up above, Clare fought off the remaining terrorists and ran up the stairs. She finally reached the top, but just as she was about to step outside, one terrorist grabbed her leg and tried to pull her back down. Suddenly, the same creature attacked the terrorist and dragged him down. Clare panicked at the sight and tried to escape as fast as she could. The creature then turned on her and attacked, but she managed to get out of the bunker in time. The creature followed, trying to climb out, but Clare quickly shut the bunker door and secured it with a chain. Another terrorist appeared in front of her, but when he saw the creature behind, he became terrified and ran the other way. After walking for a long time, Clare finally reached a road where an army vehicle stopped in front of her. Sergeant Hook stepped out and told her that they had been searching for her. He asked about her partner, and Clare explained that he had been killed while saving her. Sergeant Hook took Clare back to the base camp, where she went to the commander of the base and tried to explain everything about the bunker. The officer did not believe her. He told her there was no such bunker in that area and suggested that the recent attack had probably affected her mind. Clare was then sent to the medical camp for a checkup. While there, she recognized one of the terrorists, the same man who had seen the creature and ran away earlier. Soon after, Sergeant Hook joined her, and Clare told him everything about the bunker. He said that he knew the entire operational area, and no bunker appeared on any satellite map. Clare insisted that it might not be visible from above, but it definitely existed. She mentioned that the bunker door had been chained shut and had something written on it in Russian. The captured terrorist, who understood Russian, explained that the words on the door said, "Do not open this." Clare then told everyone that she had seen many chambers inside the bunker, each containing creatures like the one that attacked her. Sergeant Hook concluded that if the bunker was indeed Russian, it must have been built around 30 years ago. Meanwhile, inside the underground bunker, all the dormant creatures had awakened, trying to break free from their glass chambers. Back at the military base, the commanding officer received a call from a colonel. The colonel instructed him to keep the device that Clare had found a secret and ordered that the device be sent immediately to his location. This made it clear that some high-ranking officials already knew about the existence of the bunker and what was inside it, but had intentionally kept the truth hidden. Meanwhile, Clare was speaking to the captured terrorist, whose name was Kabir, accusing him of destroying her aircraft and killing her partner. Kabir explained that he was only a driver and had no intention of harming anyone. He told her that he was not a violent man, but was forced into this life to protect his family. In his country, anyone who refused to cooperate with the militants was considered an enemy and punished severely. While they were talking, the creatures that had escaped from the bunker began attacking the army base. They broke through the barriers and slaughtered soldiers one after another. One of the creatures reached the tent where Clare and Kabir were hiding. As Clare tried to escape, the creature lunged toward her and wrapped its long, slimy tongue around her neck. Just as the creature was about to kill her, Kabir managed to free himself from his restraints. He picked up a weapon, cut off the creature's tongue, and stabbed it repeatedly until it fell lifeless to the ground. Elsewhere in the camp, another creature attacked the commander. He fought desperately and managed to kill it just before Sergeant Hook and another soldier arrived. Within minutes, the entire base had been devastated and countless soldiers were killed. The survivors rushed into a large metal container, locking it from the inside to avoid being slaughtered. Outside, they could hear the monsters dragging away the bodies of the fallen soldiers. Sergeant Hook turned to Kabir, demanding information about the bunker or the creatures. Kabir began explaining that he hadn't even been born during the time of the Russian invasion. He said that during those years, a bright star had fallen from the sky. The local villagers had believed it was a divine sign, a message from God urging them to fight the Russians. Kabir said that before they could act, strange events began to occur. People started disappearing mysteriously. First one man vanished, then another, and soon even the women were taken. The disappearances always happened at night. Sometimes the missing villagers were later found dead, their bodies mutilated and partially eaten as if by a wild animal. Terrified villagers decided to hunt whatever was responsible. Kabir's father led that hunt, but it ended in tragedy. 46 villagers, including his father, were killed. When morning came, the survivors cautiously opened the container and stepped outside. The base camp was eerily silent. There were no bodies left anywhere. The creatures had taken them all. However, they found one dead creature lying near the camp. The creature looked monstrous, a mix of human and animal features that defied logic. Sergeant Hook asked the camp's doctor what kind of enemy they were dealing with. The doctor examined the body and said that its skin was as thick and hard as tire rubber. Killing it would not be easy. He then sliced open the upper layer of the creature's skin. When he reached inside, he was horrified by what he discovered. The internal organs were entirely human. At that moment, the commander, who had been unconscious since the attack, finally woke up and began explaining the truth. He said that army intelligence had been monitoring the region where Clare had crashed for decades. No one had ever found solid proof of anything unusual until Clare entered the bunker and retrieved the mysterious data drive. He revealed that in 1979, an unidentified spacecraft had entered Earth's atmosphere and crashed over Siberia. Hearing this, Kabir realized that the falling star his villagers had seen was the same incident. The officer confirmed it. He said that after the crash, Russians had sent scientists to study the crash site. Inside the spacecraft, they discovered alien bodies. The scientists collected DNA samples from those aliens and decided to experiment with them. They began combining alien DNA with human DNA, creating hybrid creatures that were stronger, faster, and far more violent than humans. To keep these experiments hidden, the Russians built a secret laboratory far from their homeland, buried deep beneath the deserts of Afghanistan. That bunker Clare had entered was part of that classified operation. Sergeant Hook asked Clare how many of the creatures she had seen inside the bunker. Clare replied that there were many of them, an entire army waiting to be released. One of the soldiers suggested that they gather their supplies and flee the area immediately. Hook replied that escaping was impossible. Their vehicles had only half a tank of fuel left, and walking on foot would mean certain death. Before anyone could react, the creature lying dead on the table suddenly stood up and began attacking them. The creature lunged first at Clare, likely recognizing her as its original target. Kabir rushed forward to defend her, but his attack failed this time. As the situation spiraled out of control, the commander quickly pulled the pin from a grenade and detonated it, sacrificing himself and destroying the creature in the explosion. After this, the surviving members realized that the only way to stay alive was to eliminate all the creatures once and for all. They decided to go back into the bunker and destroy everything inside, even if it meant sacrificing their own lives. They told Kabir that he could leave if he wanted, but Kabir refused. He said he would stay and fight alongside them to avenge his father's death. The group reached the bunker and carefully planted explosives throughout the place, planning to blow it up completely. Just as they were about to leave, one of the creatures suddenly attacked Hook and dragged him back into the depths of the bunker. Everyone assumed Hook was dead, but moments later, Clare heard Hook's voice calling for help from below. She realized he was alive and told the others she would go down to rescue him. Outside, Wills tied a steel cable from the army jeep to the broken elevator so the team could lower themselves down. They reached the bottom safely and started searching for Hook. Then Wills contacted Clare through the radio and said that he had received an alert. A missile was going to strike their location in 20 minutes. The countdown had already begun, so they had to complete their mission before the attack. Meanwhile, Hook regained consciousness in another room. Around him were many mutilated dead bodies, and a creature nearby was feeding on them. As soon as the creature saw Hook, it attacked. Hook fought back fiercely, cut off the creature's tongue, and smashed its head repeatedly until it died. In another corridor, Clare discovered a massive chamber. When she switched on the lights, she saw a horrifying creature sealed inside a glass pod. It was the original alien that had come to Earth in the spacecraft decades ago. The same alien the Russians had captured and experimented on. Hook managed to escape and found his way back to the team. Knowing there was no time to waste and many creatures were still inside, the group pressed forward. Above ground, Will suddenly found himself surrounded by terrorists who had arrived near the bunker. They began shooting at him from all sides, but Wills fought back bravely, taking cover behind the jeep and firing in return. Down below, Kabir found the mutilated body of a man from his village. He realized that the Russians had taken the DNA of the villagers, including his father, and mixed it with alien DNA. The experiments had failed, creating these monstrous creatures. Soon, most of Clare's team were killed by the creatures. Only Clare, Kabir, and another soldier were still alive. Believing Hook was dead, they returned to the elevator to escape. Wills received their signal to pull them up, but he was still surrounded by terrorists and couldn't operate the elevator. While waiting, several creatures attacked the elevator. One of the creatures grabbed Kabir and tried to pull him out. As Kabir struggled, he noticed a wristwatch on the creature's arm, the same one his father used to wear. In that moment, he realized that the creature attacking him was actually his father, now transformed into a monster. Above them, the jeep that was holding the elevator's cable began to slip into the bunker. Kabir shouted for Claire to escape quickly. She climbed out of the elevator just in time. The jeep fell into the shaft, crushing the lift and killing both Kabir and the creature that was once his father in a fiery explosion. Meanwhile, the terrorists captured Wills and prepared to kill him. But before they could, Hook and Claire appeared from behind and shot the terrorists dead. The 3 survivors saw the missile approaching in the distance. There was only 1 minute left before impact, so they quickly jumped into a nearby vehicle and sped away from the site. Moments later, the missile struck the bunker, creating a massive explosion that shook the entire desert. The bunker collapsed completely, destroying all the remaining creatures and killing the surrounding terrorists.